ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मायं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहागण रघुनाथन्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतपरिजनसहितं कृष्णा चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पदं सहागण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती जयपताक स्वामी नीति नामिने नामाचार्य पादाय निताय कृपा प्रदायिने गौरकददामदाय नगरग्रामतारिणे नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पासाचर्य तारिणे नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवर्षभनाविरविरहितये कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञानदायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमाद्य श्रीरूपनुग भक्तिर श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्ते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये लीनातारिणे रूपनुग विरुद्धा उपसिद्धांत द्वांत हरिणे नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्य मूर्तये विप्रणम्र संबोधे पादं पूजयते नमः। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपनुग वरायते गौरवीर्भव भूमिस्तुम निरस सज्जन प्रिय वैष्णव सर्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमस्ते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवशरि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नस्तप्रियेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भागवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भागवती नैष्टिकी हरि ओम तत्सत्। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome. So today we are meeting on 6th January 2025 to continue our discussion on chapter 12 Bhagavad Gita, Gita Gyan program. Of course, after a 2 weeks break, due to some health reasons, so I have to take a break 2 weeks. So today we are continuing our program on chapter 12. So just to recap from what we have learned. Okay, in chapter 1, we have studied about setting the scene, whereby Arjuna told Krishna, please bring the chariot in between. I want to see who is there to come and fight. Okay, at that time, what Krishna did, tactfully, he brought the chariot right in front of Dronacharya and Bhishma Deva. After Arjuna saw that the reality of war, that he had to fight against all his family members, right? That's when he started to see behind everybody, all the family members all, and he was so heartbroken, and he started to lament. So he was gone lamenting, and chapter 2 is actually we studied on contents of Gita summarized. In chapter 2, after listening to all the lamentation of Arjuna, Krishna started to speak. We said, how can these kind of nonsense thoughts can come to you? It doesn't befit a person who knows the value of life, because that's your dharma. When the war was declared, you have to fight. You cannot see all these things. Then after that, Arjuna will be arguing, said, what is the point for me to kill my relations, my family members? What is the point killing them? The nation that I'm going to rule is going to be tainted with blood. All right. So when I want to enjoy something, I need people to be around me, but nobody's going to be there. So what's the point? And that's when Krishna started explaining, well, you don't worry about that because you're not killing them, because they are the spirit soul. And Krishna started to speak on Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga means the scientific way about what is soul, what is body, what is the size of the soul, can it be cut, can it be destroyed, and all these things. Then after that, after speaking all that, then it came to chapter 3. Krishna spoke on Karma Yoga. He said that everybody have to engage in some kind of activity. Nobody is Nobody cannot engage in any activities, right? So everybody has to do some kind of activity, and that activity can either bind you in this world or can liberate you. All right. So therefore, Krishna says, you just do your job. Okay. Because it's your duty, you just perform your duty. Don't expect any result from it. Then chapter 4, Krishna spoke on transcendental knowledge. Okay. And here he spoke about the spiritual knowledge of the soul, the God and their relationship. Okay. Which is both purifying and blessing. Okay. So such knowledge is fruit of selfless devotional action. Okay. When you do things without expecting anything. So that is the thing, right? Then after they came to chapter 5, we studied on Karma Yoga, which is action in Krishna conscious. How outwardly we perform our duty, inwardly we renounce. Because Arjuna was telling about renouncing. He said, I want to renounce the world, I want to go into the forest, I want to meditate and all this. So he says, outwardly you are just acting like a normal human being, all right? You're just performing your job, going to work and all these things, whatever. But inwardly, your mind is fully absorbed in Krishna. That is called Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. Then after that, chapter 6, Krishna spoke on Dhyana Yoga, because Arjuna was telling, I want to go into forest and meditate. I want to be a Munivar, Dava Munivar, all right? I want to be a yogi. And after they say, if you want to be yogi, what are the rules and regulations? And that's when Arjuna says, that's not possible at all for me. Okay. Then after that, chapter 7, then we spoke about knowledge of the absolute, because chapter 7 onwards, the confidential part of the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, 7 to 12 is a confidential part. It is just like a biscuit, right? When you look at Oreo biscuit, there's a crust on the top and the crust at the bottom, and there's a cream in between. So the cream is something, see, sometimes the children like to take out the biscuit, open up, and just like to lick the cream and throw the crust. Okay, so first 6 chapter is the upper crust, and the 13 to 18 is the lower crust, and in between is 7 to 12 is the sweetest part of this topic, all right? So chapter 7, Krishna started to speak about knowledge of the absolute, and there he proclaimed that Krishna as the supreme truth, all right? Supreme cause and sustaining force of everything. Then after that, chapter 8, we studied on attaining the supreme, okay, by remembering Krishna in devotional throughout one's life. Throughout one's life. It's not like whenever you feel like it. If you're just going to think about it, it's throughout one life, and especially at the time of death. All right. If one can attain his supreme abode beyond this thing, they will never return. And after that, chapter 9, Krishna start to speak about the most confidential knowledge. Okay. So there Krishna start to establish that he is the supreme object of worship, and the soul has an eternal relationship with him. Okay. And chapter 10, which is the most beautiful chapter, the opulence of the absolute. All right. So there we studied about the what they call the Chatur Sloka, 8 to 11, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes. Text 8 to text 11. There we studied about first he says, Krishna says, I am pervading everywhere. Can anyone remember the verse? No one? So, chapter 8, chapter 10. So, what it says here, the 4 confidential part of that, what they call, knowledge is, Aham Sarvasva Prabhavo. Aham Sarvasva. I am Sarvasva, everywhere, Prabhavo, emanating. So, I am the source of all spiritual world. Everything emanates from me. The wives who perfectly knows this, they engage in worship with all their heart. Then after that, text 9, Mat Chitta Mat Gata Prana Bodhayana Parasparam. Katayantascha Mang Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. All right. Then after that, second Chatur Suluki, he says, the thoughts of my pure devotee always dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss, always enlightening one another. Okay, talking about me. Then after that, text 10, Tesam Satata Yuktanam Bajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mam Upayantite. Those who constantly devoted in serving me with love, I give them understanding which they can come to me. Krishna says he will give you the understanding. Okay. But those who are always engaged in his service. And the last verse in chapter 10, the Sloki. All right. It says, Tesam Eva Nukam Partam Aham Anyana Jam Tama Nashyamyatma bhavasto jnana deepena basvata. Jnana deepena. Jnana means knowledge. Intelligent. Deepena means lamp. So he says to show them special mercy, I dwelling in their heart, destroy with shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born out of ignorance. So he will come into your heart and he will light up. That's why we call enlightenment. Okay, we get enlightened when Krishna enlighten you up. Okay, he comes with the torch of knowledge and remove the darkness which is born out of ignorance. So there's an interesting subjects we have studied in chapter 10. Then after that, chapter 11, Arjuna will be asking, can you show me the universal form? The form that how you enter into everything. So what is the form is this? Actually, Shiro Dakshai Vishnu. I hope you all still remember what is Shiro Dakshai Vishnu. First is Karana Dakshai Vishnu. From his body, bubble appeared. And after that, he entered into that into every bubble as Garbo Dakshai Vishnu. And he's at the bottom from the navel, born Brahma, right? And in between, the 14 planetary system was created. Then after that, he expanded himself. The Garbo Dakshai Vishnu expanded himself as Shiro Dakshai Vishnu. He has 3 characters. Number 1, he's the maintainer of this material universe. Number 2, he entered into every atom. That's when everything starts to function. And number 3, he enters into every living entity and stays as Paramatma. And where does he stay? He stays in Sveta Dvip, is the Vaikuntha in the material world. So now Arjuna says, I want to see that. So the form, the Shiro Dakshai Vishnu, he start to show, he asks, how do you emanate? How do you pervade every living and everywhere? I just want to see that form. So the ghastly. So that's when, and after that, first he showed the beautiful part of it. Then after that, he start to show the ugly part of it. And the most ugliest part, when he start to see that Kaurava and Kuru, Pandava, both side armies are rushing into his mouth and he's chewing them, and he start to see that all their head with the helmet all crushed in between the teeth, and imagine the blood should be flowing, and that ghastly form made Arjuna overwhelmed, right? Then after that he says, I can't see this anymore, please come back to your original form. And at last, at last he'll be like, out of that so much of fear, he said, who are you? All right, who are you? Why are you here? What is your mission? Please tell me. Out of so much of fear. Then after that, Krishna says, I came to destroy everybody except you, O Pandava. Okay. Then after that, Arjuna start to say, please forgive me for being for taking you so lightly and all this. Then after that, the final verse that we finished in chapter 11. Okay. 54, Krishna says, my dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am. How you should know, because he said, I want to know who you are. Please tell me. He said, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mystery of my understanding. Okay. Then after that, mat karma, krin mat paramo, mat bhakta sangha varjita, nirvaira sarva bhutesu, ya samam eti pandava. My dear Arjuna, he who engage in my pure devotional service, free from contamination. Contamination, free from what contamination? Fruitive activities. So fruitive activities, that means expecting artha, kama, moksha, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. All these things consider fruitive activities, and that is actually a contamination, because you still have desire to live in this place. This place is like a prison, and you still have a little desire to live in the prison. Krishna says, well, you go on staying in the prison. The only time that he can come out from this prison when we are totally clean of this contamination. We have to be totally, absolutely zero desire to remain here. Not a single drop. Okay. And after that, contamination of fruitive activities and also the mental speculation. To speculate, this is God is, this is how, this is the way of prayers, this is the worship. So when we speculate, when you don't have anything, when we have mixed up knowledge, okay, when we have mixed up knowledge, we tend to speculate. That's why the parampara is very important, because in parampara there is a definite knowledge. Okay, precise knowledge is given in the parampara system. If not, everything can be a speculation. Say, like for instance, you can be born into a family of a medical practitioner, right? Maybe your parents can be a doctor, but your grandparents can be a Ayurvedic doctor. So one part of your grandparents and one part is your parent. So both have different opinion in treating different disease. So what we do, we take both of them, and we cannot say, okay, now I got the best of two worlds, so I can be a doctor. No, you cannot. All right, because that's when you start to speculate. So then you have to go for a medical degree. When you go for a medical degree, you go into a specific education. Specifically, this is how you should treat a disease, and this is how the medicine should be given, and all these things. All right, so that's called parampara. So that means when we are not under the parampara system, we tend to be a speculator. Okay, because Krishna says the contamination of fruitive activity and mental speculation. Okay, the one who free from that, and he works for me, the one who works for him, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, because all of our goal, because in every one of us, we all have a goal in life. Without goal, we can't even perceive. So there's a goal. So you must have a specific goal, and that goal is Krishna. Okay. And at the same time, he who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me. So that's how the last chapter 11 was completed. So today we're going to go into chapter 12. Now, what is that devotional service Krishna is mentioning, and how we should practice it? So that's a recommendation from Krishna. So we start from this thing. So ISKCON Malaysia, in collaboration with ISKCON Ipoh, Bhakti Yoga Center, proudly presents Gita Gyan program, Lessons of Bhagavad Gita. Anyway, I'm clear, right? Is my voice is clear? Huh? Everything is clear? Hare Krishna. All right, good. Okay, so let's take darshan from Sri Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, Sri Sri Radha Govinda, Sri Sri Radha Krishna. Okay, then all right, so today we dedicate our program to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And this program is inspired by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj. And I also dedicate this program to my very beloved God brother, His Grace Anandi Jagannath Prabhu of Bangalore, ISKCON Shishadipura, creator and brainchild of the essence of Gita Gyan program worldwide. So let's look at today's Gita Mahatmya. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Gita Shrahe Ham Tistami Gita Me Paramangraham Gita Jnanam Samashritya Trilokim Palayamyaham Palaya. So I'm present within the Gita, Krishna says. So Krishna says, I am present within the Gita. Okay. Okay. So I present within the Gita, and the Gita is my supreme resident. Can you see? Only by the knowledge of the Gita do I maintain the three worlds. So now we understand here, what we can understand from here, that Krishna says he present within the Gita. Okay, he is present within the Gita. So we do not need to go out and look for Krishna elsewhere. Okay, because Krishna says himself have said that actually he present within the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so since he's present within the Gita, so that means the Bhagavad Gita that you're holding in front of your hand, it is Krishna himself. Okay, so he says, I am present within the Gita. And after that, he says, Gita is my supreme resident. Okay, only by the knowledge of the Gita do I maintain the three words. That means true that understanding the Gita, he maintains all the three words. So what we can understand from here, or what we can reflect from here. So to have a Gita with you, it is very, very auspicious. That's why I say carry a Gita wherever you go. Keep it Gita whatever you do. In every aspect of your life, hold Gita and study Gita and make Gita as your lifestyle. Because that Bhagavad Gita is Krishna himself. Okay. Here in Vaishnava Tantra Sara, verse 12, Krishna himself declaring it very clearly. So let's look at this understanding of Gita. Modern man has struggled very hard to reach the moon, but he has not tried very hard to elevate himself spiritually. Okay. They struggle so hard to reach the moon. Okay. Imagine the amount of millions that they spend. All right. Just go there to collect some rocks. But he has not tried very hard to elevate himself spiritually. If one has 50 years of life ahead of him, he should engage that brief time in cultivating this practice of remembering the Supreme Personality of God. This process is we call devotional service. Okay, what is devotional service means? cultivating this practice by remembering the Supreme Personality of God. This 9th process, which is the easier Shravanam or hearing Bhagavad Gita from the realized person, will turn one to the thought of Supreme Being. This will lead to remembering the Supreme Lord and will enable one, upon leaving this body, to attain a spiritual body which is just fit to association with the Supreme Lord. Okay. So that means when we can simply remember the Supreme Lord, all right, this will enable a person, okay, when upon leaving the body, upon giving up this body, he will attain the spiritual body. So what, no matter what, we have to have a body. All right, we have to have a body. So we'll go to that, attain the spiritual body. All right, the original body of yours, all right, which is laying in the spiritual world, which is just fit. Okay, example, when you want to go into certain place, okay, now we have subtle body. The subtle body is fit to roam in this material world by accepting varieties of gross body. We can take a body of a goat, pig, dog, and all this, but all these things is accessible through that subtle body. So we will give up this gross and subtle body, then we go to the spiritual world, we'll accept a spiritual body, and that body is fit to associate with the Supreme Person. Okay, so with that thought, let's start our chapter 12. Okay, devotional service. So let's look at 12.1. Arjuna vacham evam satata yuktaye tattastvang paryupasate ye chapyaksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Arjuna inquired, all right, which is considered to be more perfect? Okay, which is considered to be more perfect? Okay, bhaktastvam paryupasate, those who are always properly engaged in devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested. Okay, so that means Krishna is asking here, avyaktam. Okay, ye chapyaksharam avyaktam. Avyaktam means the unmanifested. Okay, unmanifested. So so now Krishna is asking, Arjuna is asking, which is better? Okay, is it considered, who is considered to be the most perfect, more perfect? All right, those who always worship in always properly engage in your devotional service. That means now the word that we should highlight here is this. All right, he's saying which is considered, okay, to be more perfect. What is considered more perfect? He's not asking which is better. He's telling perfect. Perfect means absolutely correct. There's no fault in that. Okay, we're asking those who always properly engage in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman. Okay, so now the word that we should consider here is this: always properly engage. Always properly means, that means he says, Arjuna is asking those who every moment, every second, every day engage in devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman. The form that some religion, they cannot accept the form of God. No, they say that God is formless. Which is better? Okay, Ramana is asking that question. So in 12.2, Krishna is answering. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Mayyaveshyo Mano Memang Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddaya Parayopetas Te Me Yukta Tamamataha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Krishna, Supreme Person God, say Mayi. Mayi means Maya, all right? When you because there's a two word combined. But when you break up these two words, is Mayi. Avesha. So Mayi Avesha, when you combine, you become Maya Vesha. Right? So Avesha means fixing. Fix the thing. Mano. Mano means mind. Ye, those who, mam. Mam means me. Right? Nitya. Nitya, always. All right? Nitya Maga. In Tamil we call Nityam, right? Nitya, always. Yuktaha. Yukta means engage. And engage in what? Upasate. Upayanam. Upayanam means worship. All right? Upasate. Worship. Okay? Shraddaya. And how they worship? Shraddaya. Shraddha. Shraddha means with faith. Okay? When we say, so you simply go to the temple, you just raise your hand, just clamp your hand and just say Hare Krishna and just like that. It is nothing. But you must have Shraddha. Shraddha is very, very important. All right? Shraddha means faith. Right? So Shraddha with faith. So what kind of faith? Parayopetas. So paraya means transcendental. Paraya means transcendental. Upeta means endowed. So endowed transcendentally. And to who? To they, me means me. Yuktatama means most perfect. Okay. Yuktatama means we call it as the most perfect. So now when you look at the translation, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their mind on my personal form, those who fix their mind, okay, fix their mind on my personal form and are always engaged in what? Worshipping me. All right. What is the word? Maya Vesha Manoyuki Upasate. Nitya Yukta Upasate. Always engage in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith. Shraddha. Shraddha means transcendental faith. Great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be the most perfect. So now Krishna is saying, so if we are not going to accept what Krishna says, whatever things that we're going to do is only a speculation. So he says here very clearly, those who fix their mind, that means their mind is always fixed on Krishna, on his personal form. It is not something that we are talking about, something which doesn't exist, his personal form. So once you fix the mind in personal form, what we do, we always engage in worshipping. We engage in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith, are considered to be the most perfect. So how are we going to engage in this thing? As again, as I said, RDC formula. When we read Bhagavad Gita daily, we are fixing our mind of personal form of Krishna. Right? And every day when you're reading, that means you're always engaging it. Because after you read, you cannot just simply forget. You will start to dwell in that subject. Then after that, when you chant Hare Krishna, you are worshipping. So all these things we do with great and transcendental faith. Okay. And this act is considered the most perfect. 12.5. Kleshodika tarasteshang avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham teha vadvir avapyate. Klesha. Klesha means always trouble. You know, sometimes they say the three klesha. Three klesha means we have, for every human being are going through these three kind of suffering. Klesha. One is Adi Daivik, Adi Bautik, Adi Atmik. All right. Adi Daivik means there's the klesha, trouble from the environment. Earthquake, sudden, like yesterday also, such a sudden rain and created a big flood. You know, always we are disturbed by this environment, klesha, okay, Adi Daiva. Then for second is Adi Atmik. That means through our mental, our mind. We are always disturbed through our mind. Sometimes we become distressed. We become very depressed. Sometimes when the mind goes out of control, right? Then Adi Atmik. Okay. Adi Daivik, Adi Atmik. So Adi Bautik. Okay. Third is Adi Bautik, the one that comes from these kind of viruses. A simple, small, tiny viruses enter into a person's body and create a hell of a time. Right? Now there's a new kind of viruses are spreading. Right? And it's quite they are all quite worried how this new kind of disease is going to spread. It is heard that it's going to be worse than COVID. All right, it's already HMNU or something like that. All right, so there's a new kind of things, and a new kind of pandemic is going to come, and all these things. So we are never ending. So klesha means we are always suffering. All right, so what we understand from klesha means trouble. So klesha adhika. All right, when you see the apostrophe here, that means there's a silent A in front. So klesho adhika. So adhika means what? Adhikatara. Adhikatara means very much. Right? Avyakta. Avyakta means, what is avyakta? Avyakta means to the unmanifested. That means something that you can't see it. Unmanifest. Okay? Asakta. That means avyakta and asakta. The two words combined, you become avyakta sakta. Avyakta sakta. So that means attached to unmanifest. Attached to something that doesn't manifest. Chetasam. Those who minds, all right? Avyakta, again, to the unmanifest. He certainly Dukkam. What is dukkam means? With trouble. Deho vadbi. Okay, deha vadbir. Deha vadbir. So when you break these two words, what is the word that we can get? Deha. Deha means body. Okay, deha. Deha. You know, they say what is deha? The gross body. Deha. Then second is vadbihi. Deva. Deha. Vadbihi. Vadbihi means by the embodied. That means those who are living in this embodied, what they call, body. Those who are living in deha, gross bodied. Okay. Now let's look at the translation. For those minds are attached to the unmanifest, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. Okay. To make progress in their discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. So now we see those mind attached to the unmanifest. What is that unmanifest? Okay. For instance, when you look at the sun, the rays. So that means I take the rays as the truth, but forgetting the sun. How can that be? All right. I am looking at the cause and effect. So that means I'm more attached to the effect and not looking at the cause. Okay. So when there's a light on top. All right. But now the place is illuminated. I'm feeling this place is illuminated, but not addressing the light, which is the source of the bulb, which is the source of the light. So that means when the mind, it is always because a gross mind, and we are living in a gross body. In this gross body, we have gross senses, eye, nose, ears. That means sense and the sense object. So the sense has to be attached to the object. The eyes has to be attached to something. The eyes is attached to my computer. The eyes is attached to my speaker. The eye is attached to my book, my phone. So that means the eyes has to be looking at something. The ears has to be attached to object, which is sound, sabda. The nose has to be object. They call the smell has to be attached to a source of the smell, right? That means I must have a perfume and I'm smelling. Yeah, the nose must be attached to something. Yes or not? So eyes, nose, and the skin. All right, the touch. So the touch. That means something has to touch me. That means my hand has to be attached to something. I cannot simply like putting my hand around at nothing. So imagine when we try to be attached to something which doesn't manifest, how can that be? That's why Krishna says here, advancement is very troublesome. It's almost impossible. All right. And he says to make progress in that discipline is always difficult because we are embodied. Because in this body, we have that senses who are attached to sense object. And suddenly you are saying everything in front of you exists except God doesn't exist. Everything around you, it is factual, except God is not factual because God doesn't distinct and God is just simply in is everywhere. So it is very, very troublesome. So 6 and 7, Krishna explains here very nicely. Yetu sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya matparaha ananyenaiva yogena mangdhyayanta upasate teshang ahang samudarta mrityu sangsara sagarat bhavamyana chirat parta maya veshita chetasam. But those who worship me, yetu sarvani karmani. So yetu sarvani karmani means, that means to those sarvani, all karmani activities, mahi. Mahi means unto me. How? Sanyasya. That means by giving up. Sanyasa means giving up. Okay. Mat para. Mat para means being attached to me. Mat means me. Para means attached. Okay. Anyena. Ananyena. Ananyena means what? With no division. All right. We are not getting divided. That means you are fully absorbed. Okay. Ananyena. Then yogena. That means without deviation, true by practice of yoga. Aninayaiva yogena. Yogena means what? Bhakti yoga. Okay. Upon me. Mam dhyayanta upasate. Dhyayanta, meditating, upasate. Again, that we have studied just now in the previous verse. Upasate, upayanam. Upasate means worship. So dhyayanta. Dhyayanta means meditate, dhyanam. So mam, me, dhyanam, worship. So Krishna says that. Then after that, he says, Tesam ahang samudarta. Okay. So that means what? So that means samudarta means I, the deliverer. All right. Samudarta. Samudarta means I'm a deliverer of what? Mrityu. Mrityu means we all understand, right? Mrityu. Mrityu means what? Anyone can tell me what is mrityu? Anyone do you know what is Mrityu? They call this place as Mrityu Loka. Mrityu Loka. What does Mrityu means? Anyone? No idea? No idea. All right. Mrityu means death. Maranam, Mrityu. So Mrityu means death. That's why they call this place as Mrityu Loka, the place of death. Okay. Mrityu. So what Mrityu what? Mrityu Sangsara. Sangsara means you understand. I believe you all understand. Sangsara means suffering. Suffering of what? Suffering means material existence suffering. Then Sagarat. Sagaram. Sagaram also Tamil word, right? Sagarat. Sagarat means ocean. Okay. Sagaram. All right. Then after that, Krishna also says, then after that, the word for me is Bhavami, I become. Bhavami means I become what? Na chirat partha. Right? After I become, not after a long time, partha. Partha means this thing. All right. That means Maya Veshita Chetasa. That means Aveshita means, just now we have so studied, fixed. Chetasa means to those mind. But those who worship me, giving up all the activities, Krishna says, but those who worship me, giving up all the activities unto me. See what it says? Giving up all the activities unto me. That means what? We dedicate whatever things we do, we dedicate it straight to Krishna. We're giving up all and being devoted to me. All right? Being devoted. Mayi sanyase matpar ananyena iva yogena. Being devoted to me without deviation. Anenaiva means without deviation. Always meditating upon without deviation. Engage. Ma dhyayante upasate. Dhyayanta means what? You remember? Meditation. Upasate means worship. So that means being devoted to me without deviation. Engage in devotional service and always meditating upon me. Having fixed their mind upon me, O son of Pratha, right? So tesam ahang samudartha mrityu sangsara saga bhavamina chirat partha, O son of Pratha. For them, I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So, Tesham Ahang Samudartha Mrityu Sangsara Sagarat. So, I am the swift deliverer. So, he will just simply deliver you. That means Krishna just come and just take you away from this ocean of material existence, the ocean of birth and death. Sometimes we are floating in the top, sometimes we are drowning, and sometimes we are coming up, sometimes we are drowning. Like that, we are going around the ocean from the top to the end, in varieties of species. 8.4 million varieties. All right. So we get liberated from there. Okay. Just like, okay. 12.8. Okay. 12.8. What Krishna says. Mayyeva mana adatsva mayi buddhing niveshaya nivashishyasi mayyeva ata urdam na sangsayaha. Mayye eva mana adsva. Mayi means upon me. Mana, mind. Adatsva, fix upon. All right. So just fix Maya eva mana adarsva. Maya means me. Fix your mind upon me. Mayi buddhim. Buddhi means what? Intelligent. So engage your intelligence on, apply it. Intelligent. Niveshaya means apply. Apply your intelligence on me. All right. Then through that nivasishyasi. Nivasishyasi, you will live. Where? With me. Maye eva. All right. And Eva, okay, Maya Eva. Eva means what? Certainly. So certainly you live with me. Then, okay. So, Atta Urdam na Sangshaya. Just fix your mind upon me, Krishna says. Very easily. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And engage all your intelligence in me. All right. Engage. Engage means what? Mayi Buddhin Niveshaya. Niveshaya means applying it intelligent on Krishna. Mayi. So that means engage all your intelligence in me. By doing that, you will live with me always, without a doubt. Atta urdam na shangshayaha. So shangshayaha means, sangsaya means what? Sandegam. Sangshaya. Sangshaya means also we call Tamil, we call sandegam. Right? So there's no doubt. Atta urdam na. Na means no. No sandegam. Sandegam lama. No sandegam. Na sangshaya. So there you will live in me always without a doubt. All right. So are you all following me, my dear devotees? Can put a thumbs up if you're following me. Because I can't see anybody.
Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, Charalakshmi Mataji, Hare Krishna, welcome. So everyone, Karpya, Saraswati Mataji, Kesavan, Sadguna Mataji, are you all okay? Somebody's case, okay, thumbs up, all right, great. Okay, now let's look at 12.9. 12.9 is even more interesting. So here Krishna is going to speak on sadhana bhakti, right? Sadhana bhakti. In sadhana bhakti means it's a stage of practice. How are you going to start practicing your bhakti? Atta chittam samadatung na shaknosi mai stirang abhyasa yogena tato mam ichchatum dhananjaya. So atta, therefore, chittam mind samadhattum means fix your mind, to fix. All right. Shaknosi. All right. Abhyasa yogena tato. Abhyasa yogena tato means by practicing devotional service. Okay. Devotional service, tata, then mam icha. All right. So now it says, my dear Arjuna, oh, we know of wealth. Because Arjuna is known as Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya means what? We know of wealth. My dear Arjuna, oh, we know of wealth. If you cannot fix your mind. Now Krishna says, if you cannot fix, never mind, you cannot fix your mind on me, you cannot be fully absorbed in thinking of him. Now, without deviation, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, so Krishna says, then follow the regulative principle of Bhakti Yoga. So follow the regulative principle of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain you. So what is the regulative principle of Bhakti Yoga? No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex. So this is the principle. Then after that, you should try to wake up early in the morning. Okay, early in the morning. But if you can't wake up early in the morning, it's okay. But whatever time that you wake up, but make sure that you should chant your 16 rounds daily. And then after that, try to go to the nearest temple, Hare Krishna temple, and start to engage yourself. All right. Or just by attending all the classes. So we're going to start our classes from 20th of January. We're going to have daily, every morning, we're going to discuss one by one Vedas. We're going to start with nectar of instruction, the nectar of devotion, Bhagavad Gita, then Srimad Bhagavatam. It's going to take maybe around 1 year, 2 years, right? But we try to attend with the mercy, the blessings of Krishna and spiritual master. We try to do it on a daily basis. That is for my own nourishment. And of course, with the nourishment of everyone. So I'm a very lazy person. I cannot study alone. So I like to study along with all of your devotees. So everyone who are free, please come and join. So by that, you are fixing your mind, right? So that means you're following the regulative principle. Mornings, Shastra class is important. Then after that, you start to distribute Bhagavad Gita and start to follow the regulative principle of Bhakti. And by doing that, in this way, you try to develop the desire to attain me. Then after that, 12.10, Krishna continues. Abhyasepyas asammartosi mat karma paramo bhava mat artam api karmani kurvan siddhing avapshasi. But if you cannot practice the regulation of Bhakti Yoga, say you cannot practice all the 4 regulative principles, sometimes very hard. It's okay. Then Krishna says, then just try to work for me. Mat karma paramo bhava. Mat artam api karmani. Because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. Can you imagine? Just by working for him. Say like now what happened, Kesavan have started. Okay. Kesavan, every Sunday he made a point that he will like to go to every house and do kirtan. All right. He and his friend, Vivan. All right. Both of them have made a point. So now what they're doing is working for Krishna. So that means they make a point to go to every devotee's house, okay, on every Sunday, at least 2 houses, go there and do a small kirtan, talk to them, distribute Bhagavad Gita or distribute some books and inspire them. And that is what? Working for Krishna. This is what I'm telling you, RDC formula. So distribution of Bhagavad Gita, actually you're working for Krishna. Okay, make a point of distributing Bhagavad Gita and by encouraging everybody to study Bhagavad Gita. Actually, that's the way. So that means by doing that, by doing that, also you'll come to the perfect stage. So if you have flower garden in your house, just try to pluck some flowers, try to make some tulsi garland, and try to go and offer it to the temple. All right, if you're living somewhere nearby ISKCON temple, you can make that opportunity. If you don't have that opportunity, just make a small tiny garland of tulsi and offer it to Bhagavad Gita. Just keep the Bhagavad Gita and just offer the Bhagavad Gita and start to worship the Bhagavad Gita. Engage. All right. Then 11 Krishna says, Ataitat apyashaktosi kartum mat yogam ashritaha sarva karma palatyagam tata kuru yatatmana. So sarva karma palatyagam. Okay. Sarva karma palatyaga means what? Sarva. Sarva means all. Karma, all kind of karma. Right? All kind of activity. Pala. Pala means palangal, the fruit. Tyagam. Tyagam means sacrifice. Okay. So this is it. Okay. So what Krishna says there? The sarva karma, all that pala, the result, tyagam, renunciation or sacrifice. Okay. So however, if you're unable to work in this consciousness, if you cannot follow that, it's okay. Then try to act giving up all result of your work and try to be self-situated. Right? That means try to give up all the result of your work. So all the result, that means everything that you do, you try to offer it to Krishna. Right? Try to offer to Krishna and try to be self-situated. But after that, Krishna also still continues. So merciful, Krishna says, if you cannot Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Shreho Jnanam Abhyasach, Jnanat Dhyanam Vishishyate, Dhyanat Karma Palatyagas, Tyagak Chantir Anantaram. See, Dhyanat, meditation, karma. Try to meditate, karma pala. Karma pala means the activity, tyaga, sacrifice. So if you cannot take this practice, then engage yourself in cultivation of knowledge. Okay, like now, okay, sorry. Now, what you're doing, we are trying to cultivate knowledge. All right. We are trying to learn about God. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation. And better than meditation is renunciation of the fruit of action. For such renunciation can attain peace of mind. So that means now what we do, we just do cultivation of knowledge. We are studying Bhagavad Gita. And after that, we're going to continue studying all other Vedas. Then after that, better than this is, of course, meditation. What meditation we are talking about? Chanting the japa, Hare Krishna japa meditation, right? So go on chanting the Hare Krishna. Then after that, renunciation of fruit of action. And okay, by doing that, you start to have peace of mind. So now let's look at this. The qualities of a devotee, the verse 13 to 19. Okay, number 1, dealing with other living entity. What is the qualities of a devotee when they deal with other living entities? Non-envious. So we are always non-envious. So we do not see the people who are richer than us, who are so opulent than us. We don't get carried away. Why? Why we don't get carried away? Because we know that we are not going to be permanently here, and we are already packing our things to go back to Godhead. So who cares when someone come with so much of opulence? He got a five fingers with 5 gold fingers, gold rings. We all studded with diamond and rubies, right? Maybe he can he can come in such a huge car. He can live a huge royal way of life. It is okay. We are always non-envious. Why? Because we know that this person, we just pray for him that he will come to that proper understanding. All right, because we are not so much interested in that, because we have already got the ultimate knowledge of the Lord. The ultimate knowledge is, I am not suit to be here. This is not my place, because you have already got that realization. You have already got that understanding. Because you are studying Bhagavad Gita, you are chanting Hare Krishna. Whether you agree or not, some or other Krishna will come and inspire you from the heart. Okay? That's what it says in 10.11, right? The last this thing. I will come, Jnana Deepena. I will come and light up your heart with the torch of knowledge. And through that, all the darkness born of ignorance is dissipated, all disappear. All right. So we are always non-envy. So check and balance. If you think that you have some kind of envy when you look at someone, we know that you are not really progressing. So what you should do? You should go back to your Gita and start to study the Gita, worship the Gita, and chant Hare Krishna. So that's the thing. So first of all, we are dealing with other living entities. We are actually non-envious. How rich they can be, how opulent they can be, we are just can't be bothered. Right? Because we are self-satisfied. Okay, number 2, away from contaminating association. So sometimes when you start to see, we just don't want to associate with people who may contaminate your mind. All right. Say like, for instance, on Ekadasi day, you said, okay, on this is like this Saturday is Ekadasi, Vaikunta Ekadasi. So on this day, I decide, okay, I want to do this kind of prayer and everything. And somebody come and tell you, let's go for a wedding. Do you know that someone is getting married and all these things? So this is all contaminating association. The day that you should go for a self-realization, so no, there's a place time that you should fast. You should think about Krishna and everything. And now, especially Saturday, if Saturday means you can even try to fast without water, right? Other days you actively involve. We advise you to become a fruitarian. But it's Saturday, that means you are so relaxed sitting at home. So why not you try to fast? Maybe that's an opportunity, because it's very rare that Ekadasi falls on Saturday and Sunday. So since it's falls on Saturday, why not we try to fast? We fast till we can. Okay, maybe until lunch, you try to fast without water. And after that, you try to take some fruits in the afternoon. Or you try to fast until the evening. It said it carries so much of benefit. At that particular time, someone come and tell you, look here, you are young, this is nonsense, you are not well, you are sick, you must take your medicine. All right, doesn't matter, your health comes first, God can come later. All these kind of things is all contaminating association. So we have to avoid that, right? So then after that, we go to number 2. All right, number 2, attitude towards oneself. Okay, what is supposed to be your attitude towards yourself? So that means you have to be free from sense of proprietorship. Everything that you own, you must always think this all belongs to Krishna. If you're not going to do that, you're going to suffer terribly. All right, you're going to suffer horribly. Okay, for instance, it recently happened in my life. My eldest was like, seems to be like not listening to me. And she has his own idea, she started listening, and a lot of things happened that make me so upset. I was so upset. I was thinking, why? This girl is, my eldest one is already initiated, and she has already finished Bhakti Sastri, and yet she still have that kind of desire, she like to talk, the language that she speaks, especially with the friends, the association with the friends. So she always worries me. So I was thinking, I didn't realize that I became like a so orthodox kind of father who was so protective over my daughter. All right. So I said, my daughter cannot be like that. No, she should be like this. That's my goal. The reason I got married, because I want to bring children to the world, devotee children. If not, I supposed to be a brahmachari. Oh, I made a big mistake by getting married. Oh, start to lament actually. Lamenting. And I really suffered terribly. Honestly, I suffered terribly. And after that, my house, this is my house, this is my family, this and that. Then until one day, I just thought, okay. And after that, I gave a class. And after that, I just thought, see, I've been telling people to keep Bhagavad Gita as a lifestyle. I've been telling everybody to take Bhagavad Gita whenever you're in distress or suffering. But I am not doing it. And I'm just telling myself how big hypocrite I am. I've been such a big hypocrite. And I'll just think, oh, see, I am hypocrite. I'm telling others, but I'm not practicing it. So I just worship the Bhagavad Gita, and I just opened the Gita, and suddenly the verse struck me. Krishna spoke to me directly. He said, I am knower of all bodies. Do you remember that verse, the chapter? Okay, chapter 7 or 8, right? Kshetranya. Okay, the body and the knower of the body. So Krishna says, I am the knower of all bodies. And the thing struck me, yes, Krishna is the knower of all body. So Krishna knows what is happening to my daughter. So Krishna knows better than me, right? And that's when I start to realize, and I just thought about it, and I just leave it everything to Krishna. All right. So that means when we have the sense of proprietorship, I'm telling you, dear Prabhus and mothers, your life can be horrible. Mine, sense of proprietorship. So now Krishna says in his 13 to 19. So I hope that you go back and read your Gita chapter 12, especially every day you should read chapter 12. Make it a habit. Every morning it's just going to be 20 verses only. That's it. So short verses. Just study. All right, what he says, attitude towards oneself, that means I must free myself from sense of proprietorship, because I don't owe anything. I don't even own this body. And all this relationship, all this sambandha, all came through this bodily identification. When I have this body and my wife got a body, and when we both combined, we created another 4 body, and that body is related to me because this is the offspring of this body. Right? So, and through that offspring, and one day they're going to get married, they're going to, there's my son-in-law, my daughter-in-law, and there's my grandchildren, and that's my house, this is my property, and this is property I've accumulated. I would like to give my property to this one. All these things created through this bodily thing. Once this body perish, everything is perish along with you. So the sense of proprietorship. So we have to have that attitude. We have to free ourselves from sense of proprietorship. Number 1. Number 2, false ego. All right, we have to free ourselves from false ego. The false ego, that means I am not this body. We must truly believe that. Of course, we can't believe it, right? Like for instance, like when I had the chicken pox, right? I was telling myself, I'm not this body, but the chicken pox was so real. The pain was so real. The fever was so real. My body was shivering. That is so real, right? I thought my hand was shivering so terribly, uncontrollably. My fever shoot to the maximum. Never had such a fever in my life. It was so real. I cannot sit there and say, I'm not this body. Yes, correct. Where can I start to believe I'm not this body at that kind of thing? Then after that, I'm feeling so hungry. Can I just say, hey, I'm not this body, so therefore I'm not going to eat? No, it doesn't work that way. So that means we have to believe that a false ego. That means that we have to remove that identification. I am not this body, but currently I'm living in this body. So when are you going to have that kind of realization? When you're supposed to believe that you're not this body? At the time of death, right? So at the time of death, so once we start to learn ourselves, to free ourselves from all these things, when the death comes, you know that you can't even run away from it because you've got that understanding. When the death comes, you cannot like think about it. Oh, it will never happen to me. It will never. No, we just accept it, right? At that particular moment, we just try to say, well, whatever is happening now, the body going to die, but I'm going to go on living because I am not this body. So it takes a lifetime practice so that at the moment of death, you can come to that understanding. I am not this body. I am giving up this body. Even though the body is suffering and struggling, but your mind is fully engaged in Krishna, and you go to Krishna. Right? Then after that, we have to free yourself from endeavor, all of unwanted endeavors, self-satisfaction. Okay, so we cannot be, we don't endeavor a lot. We just endeavor what is necessary for us. Isha Vasham Idam Sarvam. Right? In Upanishad, Isha Upanishad says, Isha Vasham Idam Sarvam. That means everything, animate and inanimate, right? Everything belongs to the Lord. So we have to, and whatever things that we are given to us is all according to a quota. So we should endeavor for self-satisfaction. That means we should endeavor for accumulating more knowledge. We should endeavor for accumulating more improve of bhakti. All right. But we should not endeavor for working more, harder. I have seen so many people, especially, right? You know, as you all know that I'm a Forex coach, right? I teach Forex. There was a man who was 70s. He came to me, called me up and says, Mr. Punithan, my real name is Punithan, right? Mr. Punithan, I heard that you're a Forex coach. I say, yes. I would like to come and learn. From the voice I heard, I said, may I know, Mr. So-and-so, how old are you? Okay, what were you doing? Oh, I'm a retired, I think it's a banker or something, retired, some good post. I'm retired from something and I've got nothing to do. And I'm always very curious about this Forex. And I would like to go in. And I heard that when you want to go in, you must have a proper knowledge and understanding. I say, yes, true. You must have proper knowledge. You know, because you as a professional, you must have proper knowledge. I say, therefore, I would like to come and learn from you. I say, but what is the point? But how old are you? I'm already 73, sir. 73 or 74. I've already got grandchildren. I've got this. I say, sir, you should think about self-realization. I suggest you to read Bhagavad Gita and not to learn Forex. He was so annoyed. I rejected him. I said, no, I cannot teach you Forex. All right, like this, I've rejected so many people, even a devotee, right? Even a devotee. He said, Prabhu, I said, Prabhu, how old are you, Prabhu? I'm already reaching around 73, 70, 69, 70. You should think about, you have to chant more rounds and think about going back home, back to Godhead, not learn of Forex. I reject them. So like that. So that means we should endeavor, not work rest until the end. Until the end. So we should always think, okay, well, I have already done my job. Okay, now I'm getting my pension. I got my savings. And now you should engage your mind in thinking of Krishna. Not endeavor until the last breath. Work. Recently, my friend came down with some terrible thing. You know, he had a what they call sudden hike in sugar, and he went into diabetic coma. And he had a terrible enlargement of fatty liver or something like that, my Chinese friend. And now what he did, then after that, he was in ICU. All of us were so afraid. I thought we all thought, okay, he wouldn't make it. But somehow I think he made it. Then after they called me up. Then I said, hey, Chong, now is the time for you to think about God. And he said, God. I'll be okay by another 1 or 2 months. Doctor says I'll be fine. And because he's a property agent, now I got another property coming in. His mind still engaged in that. See? That's it. So we have to free ourselves, right? Then after that, number 4, how are we supposed to deal with the Lord? So when we want to deal with the Lord, we have to have determination. We have to be very determined. All right, we have to be very determined. Says, that's it. I am going back home, back to Godhead, and I serve Krishna with all determination. All right, we have to be very determined. So if you don't have a determination, you cannot wake up early in the morning and to chant your rounds. You only have that thing to, I think there's, okay, there's another Mataji here, Saraswati Mataji from Polagangsa. She told me from the day that she wakes up in the morning until she go to bed, she will be just going on chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. She said, I don't know how many rounds I chant. I said, but you need to keep, no, I just wake up in the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Her mouth just don't stop. Right? So that's all these things will happen when you have a determination to do that. All right. Then secondly, mind and intelligence fixed on the Lord. So the mind. So that means we have to always engage our mind by chanting Hare Krishna and engage our intelligence by studying the Bhagavad Gita. By doing that, you're always fixed on the Lord. Right? Then after that, you try to engage yourself in devotional service. All right, engage your devotional service. Maybe you can start with distributing Bhagavad Gita. You can endeavor to chant Hare Krishna is also the devotional service. You know there's a 9 limbs of devotional service. It's not that sometimes you manually come down and work. Sometimes we stay very far away from the temple. How are we supposed to do it? Maybe we are not. We don't have access to the temple. So how are we going to engage? So 9 limbs: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. Shravanam, listen. Kirtanam, sing. Shravanam, worship. All right, Vishnu. Pada Sevanam. All right. So that means we can chant Hare Krishna. We can sing about. We can chant Hare Krishna. We can sing about Krishna. We just need to clap Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Just sit in front of your, on your balcony or maybe in front of your house. You know, they say how to do kirtan. Very simple. Just sit in front of, just right on the vasal. Sit in the vasal and just clap and start to sing Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. At least some living entities, everything, or maybe your neighbor, whoever hears it. You have all the full benefit of doing kirtanam. Then after the japa, so you have to take the japa mala and start to chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. All right, and when you chant Hare Krishna, what? Because we are calling upon Nama Prabhu. Krishna has many forms. So the most supreme and the most merciful form is Nama Prabhu, the form of the holy name, Nama Prabhu. Nama Prabhu is so merciful. He's more merciful than the real Krishna form itself. Right? I think we have read that in our chanting, right? The Mahatmya about chanting. So it says the word Krishna, the person Krishna, it is not as merciful as the name Krishna. Can you imagine? You know, I said, wow, how can that be? In these things, the word Hare, Krishna, Rama is more merciful than the person, the supreme personality form of Hare, Rama, and Krishna. Because when you chant the Hare Krishna Rama, even people can chant out of envy. People can chant out of anger. You know, they can even curse them. Oh, that bloody Hare Krishna movement. Even they are out of anger, bloody Hare Krishna. Even the word Hare Krishna, even uttered out of anger, out of jealousy, out of wrath, it still purifies. It's all mentioned in Harinama Chintamani. That's why Malaysia is considered very, very blessed. Why we have so much of rain, we have so much of abundance. Because here in Malaysia, everybody chanting the holy name. All right, the Yuga Dharma, the Yuga sacrifice, as we have studied in chapter 3, right? The sacrifice, chapter 3 or chapter 5, we talk about sacrifice. We have to perform sacrifice. When we perform sacrifice, the Devas will be very, very pleased. And when the Devas is very pleased, the Devas will simply supply all the ingredients that wanted. But look like it, only this country, Malaysia, is so beautiful. No earthquake, no volcano, no natural disaster. Right? Of course, there's some racism, is human error. It's okay. But other than that, what we have? We have ample of rain. We have ample of water, clean water. All right, I'm not sure about other place, but in Ipoh, not even once in my entire 47 years living in this place, I've not experienced water rationing and also electricity disruption. All right. So there's so much of wonderful thing. Why? Because here everybody is chanting Hare Krishna. Hari Appa, Hari Kamis, Hari Rama. All right, Selamat Hari Natal. Selamat Tahun Baru Cina. All right, Hari Raya Cina. Then after that, Selamat Tahun Baru. Then after that, Rama. Right, Matahari sudah, Matahari sudah keluar, bangun. The mother will be shouting at the children, Matahari. And there's a famous shopping center in Ipoh, right? Not in Ipoh, but I've seen few places in Malaysia. The shopping center called Hari. Go there, Hari, datang sini, Hari. So every second in this country, everybody's chanting the holy name of the Lord. That's why. right? But of course, that is random. Of course, it's a random thing. Of course, they also get the benefit, but we have to be very specific. We have to engage our mind. We have to think. We have to fix our mind in chanting the Hare Krishna. So Hare means the internal potency of Krishna, which is Radharani. Krishna means the most attractive one, and Rama means the reservoir of pleasure. So we beg, oh Mother Radharani, who controls the beauty and the pleasure of the Lord, please give us the full benefit so that I can be very ecstatic in worshipping and chanting your holy name. Therefore, O Mother Hare, please engage me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By doing that, you start to feel a wonderful way. So when we study the 13 to 19, you start to understand how a person should act. Engage in devotional service. It's just like a tortoise, right? When the thing is not required, it pulls the limb into the body. When the thing required, it comes out. So that means we are not trying to be very artificial, because in chapter 3 itself, Krishna says, chapter 2 itself, Krishna says, right? Chapter 2 or chapter 3, what Krishna says, just your mind dwells in that sense object, but at the same time try to refrain it. You are a pretender. So Krishna not asking you to become a monk, suddenly become a mendicant, or suddenly become a pure. No. Krishna says, go on doing what you're doing. You're working, go and work. You are taking care of your family, go and take care of family. You're taking care of your husband, your children, your activity, just do. That's what 11:55 Krishna says that, but always there, but your mind, no, sorry. In where? In 11:10. Even though that you outwardly you engage, outwardly, I'm just like a normal person. I'm still going around teaching people how to trade Forex. I'm still talking to my neighbors. I'm still going around, but outwardly, but inwardly, my mind is fully engaged in Krishna consciousness. That's what we ask you to do. All right. We are not asking you to go on an artificial renunciation. Right. So that is the satisfied nature of a devotee. What is the satisfied nature of a devotee? Is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter 14, text 8. Tattenu kampam suk samikshamanu punjana evatma kritang vipakam kritvat vapubi vidadam namaste jiveta yo mukti pade sadayabak. So what it says, my dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy. That means one who waiting, they are so waiting so impatiently, earnestly, okay, for your causeless mercy, all the while patiently suffering. All right, that means they are waiting, but they are suffering, right? Patient suffering, the reaction of his past misdeeds, and offering you respectful obeisances within his heart, words and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. Okay, what we can understand from here? All right, let's look at this. Number one, those who earnestly waits for you, earnestly waiting for what? For bestowment of causeless mercy. All right. So that means we are earnestly waiting. That means I'm in this condition and I'm just waiting, please. Right. Just like that. Right. And while patiently suffering the reaction of his past misdeeds. So while waiting, I'm still suffering all the reaction of the past misdeed, like disease, agitations of the mind and everything, all the things. All right. Even in that particular moment, that person still offer respectful obeisances. Even in that pain, even in that kind of suffering and painful environment, he still pays obeisances within his heart, words and body, right? So he's surely eligible. For this kind of people, is definitely they are eligible for liberation, because it has become his rightful claim. That means he's top part of his right. Okay, just another analogy. Let me say that you are stuck at night in a terrible rain, right? You went to somewhere, your father or mother, whatever, they lock the door and the house is locked. You have nowhere to go. And imagine you are somewhere in Cameron Highland or some kind of cold place, right? And it's raining very heavily, right? You're just waiting for them to open the door. You're just waiting. But now you are drenched in that heavy rain, and the weather is extremely cold, and you are shivering, and you're praying, you're just praying, please, somebody, please come and open the door. And in your mind, you are just thinking, please come and open the door. Even though that you're suffering that thing, you are just praying, oh God, oh my father, oh my mother, oh my wife, oh my husband, please come and open the door. I'm here. I have no voice to scream. I know you all are sleeping. Please come and open the door. You understand what I mean? So in that thing, so like that. So that means we are in this wilderness of this material environment, which is mrityu loka, which is tainted with this birth, death, old age, and disease. We are going through all this kind of suffering, but in our heart, we are just praying, oh my dear Krishna, please liberate me. Even though that you see suddenly was a cold wind, suddenly you see some rain, suddenly you see somebody throwing the stone at your head. So all the paining, but in your mind, in your heart, you're just paying obeisances. Dear Lord, please come and take me off. Right? So what it says here in this chapter, Srimad Bhagavatam 10, 14 and 8, Canto 10, chapter 14, text 8, Krishna says, says here that this person is surely eligible for liberation because that is his right. Okay. Now, the last verse, Yetu dharma martam idang yatoktam paryupasate shaddadana mat parama bhaktastetiva pe priya. But those who follow this imperishable path, Krishna says, those who follow the imperishable path. Okay. All right. What it says here, Yetu dharma mritam. Dharma means what? Religion. Dharma means religion. Amardam. Amardam means nectar. I mean, those who follow, do. Okay. Those who, two. Okay. Means those who follow. Okay. Yuktam. Yata. Paryupasati. Paryupasati means paryupasati. So upasati. Upasati means what we have understood just now? Worship. So paryupasati means completely in worship. All right? Completely engaged. In what? Shraddha. I believe you all remember the word Shraddha because I've explained so many times. What is Shraddha means? With faith. Shraddha Adana. Shraddha Adana, with faith. Then Mat Parama. That means taking me, the Supreme Lord. Mat means me. Parama means supreme. So that kind of devotee, Bhakta. Bhakta, they are Ativa. Bhakta te tiva. Me priyaha. So this kind of devotee is very, very dear to me. All right? It's very, very. So Ativa. Ativa means, the word Ativa means very, very. That means really, extremely, in detail. Priya. Priya means very, very. Me means me. Priyaha. Priyaha means me. Dear, very dear. So now Krishna says, those who follow the imperishable path of devotion. So why imperishable path? Every path that you have taken, it's never destroyed. If you didn't make it this birth, you're going to continue next birth. So those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, right? Completely, that means they completely engage themselves with faith. That means with so much of faith and making me the supreme goal are very, very dear to me, right? So how the devotional service you can perform? First is chanting the holy name, reading the Bhagavad Gita. Maybe you don't have a tulasi at home, you can plant a tulasi and start to worship tulasi, and you can make some nice dishes and offer to Krishna. All right. So that's the thing. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Okay, we'll explain about this and this thing. So take the RDC formula again very seriously. RDC means read Bhagavad Gita, distribute Bhagavad Gita, and chant Hare Krishna 16 rounds daily. You start to see a huge transformation start happening in your life. All right. So now let's open for questions. Is there any questions, any comment? Was I too fast today? Was my speed okay? Anybody home?
Yes, okay, Prabhu. Okay.
Maybe my 2 weeks of anxiety. Yeah. Okay. So all fine, huh? Okay. So tomorrow, actually, I just realized I've got a medical checkup, but still I'm not fit to go to the hospital. Anyway, I'll keep you posted. If at all, I'll try to change the appointment to next week. I think it should be fine. And tomorrow we're going to continue with chapter 13. Okay, chapter 13 is going to be more and more, very, very interesting part. Okay, chapter 13. Because now we are already enjoyed the cream. Now we are coming to the lower crust, right? So what is the chapter 13 is going to be? Okay, it's going to be nature, enjoyer, and the consciousness. Very scientific, very beautiful chapter. Okay. So with that, thank you so much. We'll meet again. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha Paditanam pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namah. Hare Krishna. Have a beautiful day. Gauranga.